Alright, so again we're going to go ahead and do something new. So this time you're not looking at me while I'm going over this on the board. I'm going to go use the worksheets that I've provided for you. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and graph these lines. And we're going to graph these lines as you see them. So now the one that we did before was graphing the lines in the y equals mx plus b format, the slope-intercept format. In this particular one, they're not in that format. So I'm going to review what we did in class and just go over it again with you. So first off, let's go ahead and look at this, and if you notice, it's not in the y isolated format. So we want to keep this format where it's y equals mx plus b, and where the m is your slope and your b is your y-intercept. So let's go ahead and take this and let's rewrite it. So all I'm going to do here is I already have y right here, and it's a positive y. So all I really need to do is move that x over to this side and isolate it. So to isolate it, we're going to go ahead and subtract x because that's a positive x, and we're going to subtract x on this side. So that leaves us with y isolated, and we're going to rewrite it in the correct format, which is negative x minus 4. And we have a minus 4 because that is a subtract 4 right here, so it's minus 4. So this is our final outcome for this one, and then now we can take this and graph it. When we graph it, don't forget to change this into a fraction, which makes us a negative 1 over 1 x minus 4, where negative 4 or minus 4 is our y. So we're going to go down to negative 4 and make a dot, just like what we did when we just had the format in y-intercept format, or slope-intercept format. And then we're going to go ahead and go down 1. That negative 1 tells us to go down 1 and right 1. So we're going to go down 1 and right 1. So here is our dot. And so we had to do a little bit of work first. Once we're done with that work, once we get to this particular part right here, we could go ahead and graph that. Alright, let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, let's try the one right next to it. Alright, let's go ahead and practice on another one. And let's go ahead and take this one right here. So let's rewrite this. And again, we notice that it is not in the correct format of y is equal to mx plus b. It's x minus y is equal to negative 2. So we're going to go ahead and there's a couple of ways we can do this. And if we follow this way, we can do that. It's just going to be a little bit harder because you have a negative y. But let's go ahead and do it that way. So here, let's rewrite x minus y is equal to negative 2. I'm going to subtract x here, subtract x here. This leaves me with a minus y. A lot of you guys keep forgetting that little minus. And that gives me negative x minus 2. And since we learned from the other one, we're going to just go ahead and put a 1 here automatically. And here, we're also going to put a 1 automatically. And that lets us know that we have a negative 1y, a negative 1x, and then minus 2. So now, just like what we did in the other ones, we're going to divide everything by negative 1, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. If I divide this by negative 1, that leaves me with a positive y, which is what we want. And then negative 1 divided by negative 1 gives me a positive 1. So that's going to leave me with a 1x. And then negative 2 divided by negative 1 gives me a plus 2. And then here, don't forget, we're going to change it to a fraction because we want the rise over run. And then let's go ahead and do the same exact thing that we've been doing since we've been graphing. So we're going to go ahead and circle the plus 2. So that's 1, 2. Put a dot. Then this 1, which is positive, we're going to go up 1. And we're going to go right 1. So we're going to go up 1 over and then right 1 over. And then we've just created our 2 dots, and all we really need are 2 dots to go ahead and create our line. And then that's it. Let's go ahead and do one that's a little bit more complicated. I know this one is pretty complicated on its own, but let's try one that's a little bit more. So let's look at number 6 right here. And you might recognize number 6 as one of the ones that came on one of your tests. So here, we're going to go ahead and subtract x from both sides. And when I rewrite this out, you now have 2y is equal to negative x plus 8. And again, it's plus 8 because it's a positive 8. Don't forget, this is a negative 1x. Divide all by 2. And then when we rewrite this out, you're now going to have y is equal to negative 1 over 2 x, and then 8 divided by 2 is positive 4, and we now have our standard slope-intercept form where we can just graph this particular thing right now. So here's plus 4. You're going to go down 1 because it's negative 1, and then over 2. Down 1, and then 1, 2. Place your dot for the second point. And you now have your other line. Alright, let's go and do one more on this one. Let's find one that's a little bit harder. Before we move on with the one that's... let's go and do this one. Alright, so here, same deal. I want to get rid of the 5x. We're going to subtract 5x. Subtract 5x on this side. When I rewrite, I need to keep that negative, so it's going to be negative 2y is equal to negative 5x, and then since it's a positive 10, plus 10. Divide by negative 2 to all the numbers. And when I rewrite, I now have y is equal to, and that's a negative 5 divided by negative 2, which makes it a positive. So it's 5 over 2 x, and then minus 5. And once again, we have our format right here, so we're going to do, find y, negative 5. The positive 5 means we're going to go up, and then the positive 2 means we're going to go to the right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So we've now created our 2 dots. And draw your line, and you have it. There's 2 that I wanted to basically go over, and these were the ones that a lot of you guys missed, even though they're quite easy. Wanted to make sure that you guys understood these again. So once again, y is equal to negative 4, all it means is basically go up to the y, go to negative 4, and you are going to create a horizontal line on the negative 4. And that's the same thing when you look at the other one, when it's, instead of y is equal to negative 4, you also have x is equal to 5. That means you're going to go to the x, you're going to go to the 5, and you're going to create a vertical line. And that's it.